Today we're looking at 5 acres in central New Mexico, just to the south of Albuquerque. And in this video, I am going to share the top things that should help you determine whether this property is the right fit for you. And that's based on my experience selling over 700 parcels of land. So let's get started with location. Now this property is just to the south again of Albuquerque. About 15 minutes from Albuquerque, and it is just to the west of the Manzano Mountains. And it is in a sort of wide open area characterized by very few buildings. We can go back here. Very few buildings, mountain views, and hello, thank you for joining. One moment. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, so yes, again, characterized by wide open views, wide open space, mountain views. This is also an area that is very flat. You get the big desert sky. I say all this because we have, my partner and I actually went out and visited this area, and I can tell you just from personal experience that the photos don't really do it justice. It's actually quite beautiful out here. But anyway, yeah, this lot is for someone who is looking for a fair amount of land. This is 5 acres. In the high desert, where you aren't going to have many neighbors, you'll have a lot of space and privacy and beautiful views. It is not, however, for someone who is looking for land near or in the suburbs, so you're not going to have public utilities necessarily, and you're not going to have immediate, access to stores. Like, it's not going to be right outside your door. This is also not a unrestricted property, so if you're looking for a mobile home lot, RV lot, or just generally unrestricted land, this is not right for you necessarily. But this property again is for someone who wants affordable land, a number of acres, so pretty decent size, 5 acres, in an area that's quieter, has more privacy, and is also in a community where you're not completely on your own. This is part of the Tierra Grande Improvement Association, so there is an association with that keeps this area, at least well maintained enough that people can build homes here. And I'm going to go over that in a little bit, but there are actually a number of reasons why we particularly like this subdivision. So let's talk a little bit more about the surrounding area and the community the property is a part of. All right, so this property is in the Tierra Grande Improvement Association. Annual dues are only $50 a year, so this isn't like some other HOAs with, or it's not even really an HOA, but not like other communities with very high annual dues. And their website is tierragrande.org. Now, the reason we really like this particular subdivision. Okay, yeah, great. I'm happy to talk to you about it. Oh, sorry to hear you got stuck in sand. But yeah, please feel free to book a call and we can talk about the property and what you're thinking. And thank you for joining the live stream. It's always good to connect here too. So if you have any questions while I'm going through this property, let me know. All right. So as I was saying, there is a reason that we do really like this particular subdivision, and that is because, well, first, I'll go back to the map here, but there are a number of subdivisions that were created in this area just to the south of Albuquerque in what was desert grazing land, and a lot of them were never really developed. The one exception was Tierra Grande, and that is because the Improvement Association was created, and the Improvement Association was able to do things like bring out electric power. They also got roads installed within the area, and I know they also recently built like a fire station and some other just basic amenities that made it possible for people to actually build and live in this subdivision. And so because of the Improvement Association, there are something like 150 homes within the area, so 150 families who are able to make this area their home. They do also have some basic CCRs, which, again, this isn't unrestricted land. The benefit of having some CCRs is that, unlike other parts of more rural New Mexico, the CCRs and the Improvement Association does ensure that the area isn't, there aren't like a lot of, old trailers, junkyards, maybe somewhat think like Breaking Bad type activities happening in the area. So the CCRs do protect the subdivision and make sure that it's kept, to a certain standard, and that the people who are moving or owning property in the subdivision are not junking the properties, or doing illegal activities, things like that. So, as I had mentioned before, this is not a property for a mobile home or an RV. You would have to do kind of like a regular stick-built home. I will say, because I've talked to the administrator of this subdivision, I know that they are fairly open to some alternative building methods. I could be wrong, but I believe that they had mentioned that someone did build an earthship in this particular subdivision. So this is not one of those HOAs where they expect everything to look exactly the same, but they do want homes to be of at least a certain standard. So it would be a site-built home, and it would be, it wouldn't be a tiny home. You would have to build, I believe it's 2,000 square feet. We can go to this section here on building in Tierra Grande, where they have more information. But I think they would generally work with you on what you're thinking in terms of home construction. So you can find all of their information at tierragrande.org. The other thing I would note is they do also have, they do also have a large section of open space that is owned by the HOA and for use only by members of Tierra Grande. So that does, I think it's under here. Yeah, they have 14,000 acres of open space, which is owned by the HOA and which is for use by members only for things like horseback riding, hiking, enjoying nature. So that's another advantage. And you can find, again, more information on them at their website. All right, so that's Tierra Grande. And they are one of the main reasons that we really like this subdivision and continue to buy and sell properties here. In terms of utilities, there is electricity that has been run through the subdivision, but water and sewer would be well and septic. And the Tierra Grande Improvement Association in the past had some links for various contractors that work in this area. They might still be able to help you with contact information for things like well installers and septic installers if you give them a if you contact them. Now, a few other things that would be important to know about the property, especially if you want to build. So as we saw from the drone footage, this is a very flat area. Oh, the audio is low. Let me see what happened. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. Can you hear me? All right, testing. Okay, that should be better, hopefully. All right, so as I was saying, the area is very flat. from the drone footage, which is good if you want to build. And there have been people, you can see homes here. Also, the property is not in special hazard flood zone. That's also good news because it means there's no additional flood insurance requirements and no sort of requirements to elevate the home. And you might be surprised, even in the desert, you'll get special hazard flood zones sometimes. So there are also no wetlands. That's also important because wetlands can prevent building. All right. And I also do like to, every time we purchase a property, we do check the soil type to make sure that there are homes built on properties with the same soil type. That's just a nice check to make sure that it has at least been possible to put a septic system on that soil type in other properties. So it's a good sign that the perk test would pass. Not a substitute for a perk test, of course, but it's one of the checks that we do to try and determine whether we think the soil has a good chance of being able to support a conventional septic system. Now, one thing we didn't cover about the area is how far away are basic amenities. So I know a lot of people are looking for land that is a little quieter, a little, more private, out of the way, but you still want to be close to like markets and healthcare and all of that. So this property is about 20 minutes to the town of Belen, which is a bedroom community of Albuquerque. There's actually a commuter rail here up to Albuquerque. And in Belen, you'll find grocery store and medical centers, pretty much everything you need. So you see there are a number of different grocery store options here. Also, about another 20 minutes north of Belen is the town of Los Lunas, which I like to call out because Los Lunas has actually seen in prior years a fair amount of economic development, which can be a good sign for property owners. So one of the biggest pieces of economic development news in the area was the creation of the Facebook data center, which is still in the process of expanding. So that represented a pretty substantial investment in the area. There's also a rail-served industrial park that was recently created in Los Lunas. Another big sort of commercial development that represented a substantial investment and did bring jobs to the area. So I do like to call out these things because generally economic development is most generally a good sign for property values. All right. So I think that covers a lot of the basic details. If I missed it, if there's any lingering questions you might have, you can always reach out to us and ask. But I do want to wrap up with what is probably the most important aspect of the property, which is the price. But before I get to that, I do want to quickly introduce myself so you know who you'd be working with. My name is Erica. I am the co-founder of Goche Capital, and I have a company that sells land. Our mission is to help people across the country become landowners and build their own version of the American dream. And we have helped over 700 people become landowners now. You can find all of our properties at land.gocap.com. As you can see here, we do work throughout the U.S., so if you are looking in other states as well, you can check out some of our other properties. We do have other properties in New Mexico as well. And I will just one last note on the introduction. I'm not a real estate agent, so all of the properties that you see on this map are properties that my company owns. What that means is when you buy from us, you are working directly with the owner. And we can also offer owner financing on all of our lots, including this one. But today we're looking at number 744. This is the property in Valencia County, 5 acres. A quick note, this number is our internal numbering system. You are not going to see it on the deed. If you did want to call the county and do any research on the property, you could give them this number to have the county pull up the property. This is the assessor's parcel number. But to find the property on our website, you could look for 744. All right, so we do have this property listed at a price of $5,147 plus the dock fee. And as I said earlier, we do offer owner financing on all of our properties. but you won't see set owner financing terms on the website. And that is because we do tailor our owner financing terms to meet the needs of each individual buyer. So if you are interested in owner financing, what I do say is please reach out to us and let us know what kind of down payment and monthly payment you're thinking would work for your budget. And we will come up with owner financing terms that are tailored to your budget to make sure the property is affordable for you. I do, though, want to be upfront about two of our terms. The first is that the higher the down payment, the lower the interest rate. And the second is that there's no building on or living on the property until the end of the loan term. And this is for liability reasons, but you can use the property for recreational purposes or make minor improvements as long as you're in compliance with all local rules and regulations. And by minor improvements, I mean things like fencing, clearing, grading, generally anything that doesn't require a permit. So if there are a few things you're thinking you want to get started while you're still financing the loan, just let us know and we'll work with you. The other thing I'll note is there's no prepayment penalty, so you can always pay off the loan early, get started building, and save on interest. In fact, if you pay off early enough, we'll give you cash back. So if you pay off in 6 months, you'll get 5% cash back, and if you pay off in 12 months, you'll get 2.5% cash back on the purchase price. Another thing I like to mention is that we do have a 365-day exchange guarantee as well. So basically, we created this because we had heard from previous buyers that one of their biggest concerns was, especially a first-time land buyer, that they might not know exactly what to look for before buying a property and could potentially end up with a lot that doesn't work for them. So to solve for this, we did create the 365-day land exchange guarantee. It's kind of like GPS for owner financing. Just like with GPS, if you take a wrong turn, it can reroute you. If you happen to get a property that doesn't end up working for you, we can reroute you to a different lot. All you have to do is pay another doc fee, but anytime in that first year of owner financing, you can reach out to us and let us know you'd prefer a different lot, and we will move over all of the principal you've already paid to the new property so you can get the lot that really works for you. The other thing I like to call out is that we did create a landowner success bundle that comes free with every purchase. This bundle was created based on feedback from hundreds of previous buyers, and it is a set of 9 bonuses designed to help you get the most from your land. And these bonuses include exclusive offers with mobile home manufacturers and dealers, monthly landowner Q&A calls with me. So this is to make sure you still get support even after the deed's recorded in your name. You also get a complimentary vacation voucher valid for a 3-night hotel stay in one of over 50 global locations, and a hotel savings card, which has a $500 value you can use to pay down hotel stays throughout the U.S. And these 2 bonuses are designed to help offset the cost of moving to a new location, visiting a property, or just a vacation to celebrate land ownership. You can also request a free 30-minute architectural consultation with me because I do have a background in architecture. And you'll get a homesteading guide and building and zoning guide. And I'll make a quick note here that these are not short, like 3-page PDFs. We did spend a couple months putting together everything we thought would be helpful to know if you wanted to do homesteading or building and zoning, or building. And these guides are both about 100 pages. And you'll get a post-closing checklist to make sure you're set up correctly and our neighbor lookup tutorial. So all of these come free with every purchase. You do get them when the deed's recorded. That's either upfront with a cash sale or at the end of the loan term with owner financing. All right. So if you are interested in this property, I do recommend doing the following 2 steps. First, I do always recommend that you hold the property while you wrap up your due diligence. And I say this because in the past, we would have buyers reach out to us after going to visit the property or after calling the county, and we would have to let them know the property was sold. So to make sure that doesn't happen, we did create this hold feature. It's $50 for 2 days, but the hold allows you to take the property off market while you do your research. Visit the property, call the county, call us, do what you need to do to be comfortable with the lot. So it is, again, $50 for 2 days, and you can hold for up to 8 days. The hold fee would be applied to the purchase price. In fact, it would be applied to the purchase price regardless of what property you purchased, as long as you buy within 90 days. So this, again, lets you take the property off market while you wrap up your due diligence. And that's always the first thing I recommend you do. You can hold the property on our website through the automated checkout process. Just click buy or hold on the website. Now, the second step would be to book a call with me to go over any remaining questions, next steps, and owner financing if you did want to use owner financing. So my calendar, my personal calendar, this is a call with me, would be call.gocap.com. So those are the two steps I recommend taking next. First, hold the property on our website by clicking buy or hold, and then book a call with me at call.gocap.com. Now, I also want to note that if you are just starting on your land search and you are not yet certain what property will work for you, you have an option on the calendar to book a free land strategy call as well. This is free. We can spend 20 minutes talking about your land goals and some of the things that I would recommend looking at with every property that you research based on your goals. And the point of this would be to make sure that you have the tools you need to properly evaluate properties so that you get the lot that works best for you. And of course, if it does make sense, we can talk about some of the properties in our inventory that might make sense for you, but only if you would like to. So that's one option. Another, if you are just starting your land search, is a free property review. So I am live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. I go over the property of the day, but I also do free property reviews. So if you would like a free opinion on any lot you're considering purchasing, you can join any day at 7 p.m. Eastern and leave your property in the chat, and I'll take a look at it for you for free. All right. I do also want to quickly note we have a free land giveaway as well. It's a fun promotion we do twice a year just to get the word out about our company. And the next one is coming up on July 4th. We'll be giving away the lowest value property in our inventory live on YouTube on July 4th. If you'd like to throw your hat in the ring for a free property, you can go to freelandgiveaway.com to watch a quick 1-minute video on how to participate. Right. So that's it for today. Again, you can find all of our properties at land.gocap.com, and today's property was number 744 on the website. And if you were interested in it, again, you could click buy or hold on the website to hold it, and you can always book a call with me at call.gocap.com.